Alright, Tracy, we're already in the customer's house. We've already talked about how to deal with the customer. At some point, you've got to get to work. So what's a mistake once the job starts that these companies are making?
An amazing mistake, and I mean, to me, I just don't get it. It's kind of the McFly thing. I can't believe that this mistake happens all the time. And I saw it within my own company, and I was constantly having to retrain my technicians. Make sure you're putting the right amount of equipment into each job. Hello, that's how you're making money with the equipment rental. So don't you think you want to put enough? Because typically what I see are technicians and restoration companies not putting enough equipment in to get a 3-day dry down. Okay, where does the 3-day dry down come from? It's kind of an industry standard, but it's a standard that is set by the insurance companies that say, hey, this is how quickly things should dry. Well, if they're saying that and they're setting this standard, they also want you to set a standard for the equipment. Now, I'm not smart enough to figure all that out. That's why we have large associations like the IICRC and ADI, Chuck DeWalt's drying schools, what that is. They set a standard for you. It's very mathematical. It's based on cubic or linear feet. This is the equipment you put in the job. This is how long it should take to dry. You know, there's always unforeseen, and that's first thing the restoration companies come back, well, yeah, but I've been working in the field. I know how. Yeah, there's always unforeseen things. But set a standard and make sure you have enough equipment to get it dry. And dehumidification is a big part of that. But once again, how do you do that? You set a standard, you make a list for your technicians. They don't have to necessarily understand what it is, but you have to have a guideline for those technicians when they're out in the field in a disaster, that you make it stupid proof that this is how we do it. Okay, you know, they probably need to understand the standard so they're educated when the customer asks, well, why'd you put this much in here? But more importantly, they just have to have that comfort of going into the job and I know what to do. And let's face it, there's those two associations I just described. If you're not a current certified restoration company through the IICRC, or have sent your technicians to be trained through the IICRC to get the basics, you're making a huge mistake. Yes, it's money up front, but my philosophy on all this is, if you want to be the best in your industry, don't you think you need to train your employees to be the best in the industry? This industry is changing all the time. If you don't do it the right way, it's not going to work. So what do you got to do? I should just keep this up here. Make a list so your technician knows what the standards are for the equipment they put in there, or make a standard sheet, whatever you want to call it, but they need a guideline to go off of. Train your technicians to use the list to know what it is, and also along with the training is and these are just two organizations that help with training and help you develop this standard for you. There's a lot of other ones out there. These are the two that I like the best. But those two things will help you go forward. And three, I think I spelled that right. Get help from your distributors. Okay, they're the ones selling you equipment. They're the ones who are providing you with the chemicals and the cleaning products and the antimicrobial stuff. Obviously, it's important for them that you succeed. So if you're talking to your distributor and saying, listen, I've got this odor in the house, what do I do? Or I don't know what to do for this, or do any of the other restoration companies get training on this? They're there to help. And obviously they give you great advice because they want you to succeed just as much as you do yourself. They're piggybacking off you making money. It's better to have them in your corner than to, you know, and I've seen this happen a lot. A lot of people will compete, put two distributors against each other and say, I'm getting this over here. You can do that for pricing and stuff, but it also hurts your loyalty with those distributors. Though that's pretty simple. Follow those 3 guidelines. You don't have a problem with number 4.
Awesome.